What is up, guys? Today we are doing something a little different, something that I don't really do on this channel. So when I was recording Doom, my playthrough of Doom, there was a lot of intense, rapid movements, right? So I was playing with mouse and keyboard, and the keyboard just clacked and clacked and clacked, and it got so annoying when I was listening to the audio back. Sometimes it wasn't as bad as other times. Usually I never really could tell, but I had been trying to mess with the audio settings, and sometimes when you boost the audio settings just right, that click clack of a mechanical keyboard gets really loud. And so I was looking online, I was like, how can I fix this? I don't want to buy another keyboard. I like mechanical keyboards, but they're just so loud and it makes it not great for recording, in my personal opinion, because I just don't like, some people like the way it sounds. I don't. I think it's obnoxious and annoying, and I don't want to hear it, and I don't want you guys to have to hear it. So other than buying a new keyboard, the only thing you could really do was put O-rings on your keyboard. You have to take off every piece and install it. So I went and I bought some. I got these right here. I've never installed O-rings on a keyboard before. I have no idea how this is gonna go, but I figured why not, give it a little video. We'll go through and I'll show you how loud it is, because I'm gonna adjust the audio just right. But we're gonna go through and try and put these in. We'll do a little before and after. I'm gonna clack on the keyboard a little bit so you guys can hear it. All right, so this is my keyboard before. I'm gonna do a couple of little clicks. And that's about what it would sound like while I was recording, which was super annoying, and I hated it. So now we're gonna go through and we're gonna install the O-rings, and we're gonna see if it sounds any better. So I'm gonna go ahead, I unbox this. You get a little bag to keep your excess O-rings in. We got the package with everything that comes in it. I don't know if you guys can see it. The important thing that they send you that you probably wouldn't have normally is your key remover. So with this, you just kind of push it down and lock it in, and you pull your key off, okay? So now we got the key off, so now we have to put an O-ring on it. If you guys can't see that, I apologize. I thought this was going to stay lit, but in fact it did not, because I turned my computer off. So right in the center of it, that's where you want your O-ring. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna get your bag of O-rings, and you're just gonna put it right on that circle. And you don't have to have this held on the whole time. You're gonna push it right on that circle. And what you don't wanna do, if I can get this on there the first time. All right. So what you don't wanna do is get it on there on that center and leave it there. What you wanna do is you wanna push it all the way down. So I grab my little key puller here, and I push it all the way down to where it touches the base. And then you're just gonna snap it on real easy. Push down on it. There you go. That's pretty much it. So now we just gotta do it for the whole keyboard. One thing I do want to mention is that the only reason why I'm using the little key puller to push this down is because my fingers are too big. And I think my fingers aren't huge, okay? They're not huge. So I feel like the only way you can push it in with your fingers is if you have very small fingers. So if you're like a child or a lady with small fingers, or a child, a small man, I don't know. if you have small fingers, you might be able to push it down, but I can't fit both of my thumbs down to to push these down. So just wanted to let everybody know why I was using the key puller. Also to point out, because I got this specific brand of O-ring, they do not block the LEDs on my keyboard. Now, if you don't have LEDs on your keyboard, you don't have to worry about what kind you buy. But if you do have LEDs and you want to leave your LEDs up, make sure that you buy clear O-rings. Otherwise, it's going to block that light coming out. And I guess I'll try and show everybody how I'm digging in on these. If I can look at it, there's not a lot of light coming this direction, unfortunately. But if you just go around the edges and just kind of push down on it, that's how I've been doing it, and it should hit it at the base. Alright, so I'm not sure if every single keyboard is like this, but my backspace bar has these little hooks. I can't tell if you guys can see them or not, but there are these little hooks on the backspace bar. There is little levers also inside of the backspace. So do be aware that you do, if you're going to take it completely off, you do have to get these levers hooked back on here. Otherwise, it probably won't operate correctly. So just a little heads up there. It is definitely worth it to take the keys around the space bar, or the backspace bar rather, off to give you room to finagle it back in, because it is a little bit annoying to mess with. So I encountered another thing as I'm doing the zero. If you can see these little clamps on there, I think I talked about them before on the backspace bar. I have had to deal with a few of these on several different of the bigger keys, including the space bar. So you just hook them in and it's fine. But this key specifically kept on sticking, and I wasn't sure why. So I kept on trying it. Nothing was working. What happened was this pin, what's holding this little pin right here in place, it got popped out. It's just a little clamp that it slides into. So you just have to be careful of that. If for some reason the key is sticking, jiggle this around. If it pops or anything, you'll know, oh, it was it wasn't clamped into, it wasn't punched into those clamps. As far as everything speed-wise is going pretty well, so I'm gonna get back to it and try and finish this up here pretty quickly. Another thing I ran into while doing this, specifically with the zero key, which I just finished with, these little hooks. I guess you'd call them hooks. I don't know. Anyway, they slide. They're
they will fit 2 different ways. So you have to make sure to put them back the exact way. Otherwise, the key will either get stuck or it will pop up the little slider, and it will not. It will not work. The key just won't work. So just make sure that you're putting these back on the right way. All right, guys. So we got everything done. Everything's put on all but one key, because I wanted to give a live demonstration of the sound difference, and I'm fairly happy with it. I was kind of playing with it while I was putting it together, and this is without the sound dampening O-rings. All right, and this is with the sound dampening O-rings. So you still hear it. It's still there, but that, and I'm pressing these pretty hard. It's a lot more compressed. So if I'm sitting here, it's not quite as bad. I am gonna do one more test. Someone suggested putting 2 O-rings on each key. If I decide to put 2 O-rings on keys, I'm not gonna put them on all of them. They give you more than enough for one keyboard, but it's not enough to double up on your entire keyboard. So I'm gonna do that really quick. I'm gonna put it on WASD, and we're gonna see how that sounds comparatively. All right, so I put it on one key, and I tested it out before because I wanted to hear the difference for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you real quick. This is with 1 O-ring, and this is with 2 O-rings. There's really not much of a difference to me. So I don't think I would recommend putting 2 on all of them. There's just a very slight difference. I don't think it's worth spending the money to get an extra full set of these O-rings, but I do believe that compared to not having O-rings is a really good difference, and I definitely recommend it. The only thing that I don't like is that it makes the keyboard feel a little different. It's not terrible, it just takes a little getting used to. There's a little more tension when pressing down on the key, because obviously there's a piece of rubber there now. All in all, I'd say for $10, probably worth it. If this is something that you need, I won't know 100% until I record something and kind of play back the audio and see, oh, well, it doesn't actually sound that much better. But listening to it just as it is, you can tell a difference. And I'm pretty happy about that. Otherwise, the next thing you can do is just buy a non-mechanical keyboard. I don't know how much those cost. I don't know anything about them, to be honest with you. I never had any interest in them because I like mechanical keyboards. One day, maybe I'll be in a Best Buy when everything blows over and everything's normal again. And I can just kind of like play with one if they have them out and kind of see how it feels. But other than that, the big takeaways, relatively easy to install, not too bad. I think it took me about an hour altogether to replace every single key, and that was with some trouble with the little levers and handles and locks and everything. You should not be afraid of breaking your keyboard, but do be cautious about the levers, because if you snap them out and snap them in a bunch of times, it could potentially weaken them. So just be aware of that. Be careful of that. Don't go wild and yank them out and just just be aware that you're dealing with small parts, and small parts are generally weaker. So just be cautious with it. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope it helped you decide whether or not O-rings is something you wanted to invest in for your keyboard or not. And if there's any questions you have further, leave a comment. I will be more than happy to answer for you. Other than that, I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.